you said you're also a coach.
Hmm.
How is coaching Rocket League compared to being a player?
Very different. I think skill in Rocket League transitioning into being a coach doesn't always necessarily mean you're going to be a good coach. I think there's a big misconception, and this goes with sports, anything in life, right? You know, you could be at the top of the top and transition into coaching. You can either be good or bad just because some people have the ability and some people don't have the ability to kind of express or explain how, you know, you have to compete or play. So with me, I would like to think that with a lot of the things I do, it's not necessarily that I'm naturally gifted or naturally skilled. I really believe that my brain and like the ability to understand and read the game is what allows me to be at a high level in anything I've done, whether it be actual things in real life, whether it's like hockey or anything that I've attempted, but as well as Rocket League, right? And that's where a lot of my skill comes from, but it also translates very nice into coaching because I'm able to explain deeper things within the game that a lot of people may know or may do in their own gameplay, but they don't know how to necessarily explain it to others. And that's where I come in as a professional coach as well in the RLCS, and something that I've thrived in for the past couple of years is really being able to just talk about a lot of decision making because that is what Rocket League is about. There's no really set plays necessarily. It's just about, you know, decision making on the fly, plays and quick second thinking. And, you know, that's the kind of coaching I try to give off. And honestly, it's very underrated. I think a lot of people, you know, focus on, okay, if you're in this situation, do this. But in reality, it's not like that at all. And I think that's what sets me apart from a lot of other coaches. And it's also set me apart from playing because it's allowed me to adapt and become such a versatile player when it comes to different things. So ultimately, I think it's just a lot of credit to just like my mindset and my mentality and, you know, maybe my parents for, you know, kind of putting me into that mindset and whatnot throughout my life. So.
That's good to hear, man. You can overcome chaotic situations and adapt to those type of problem solving situations. As you said, it's not a Rocket League is not a linear game. I've played similar games like that, like Overwatch, Call of Duty, etc. And in fighting games, you can't really extrapolate upon linear movements, such as, oh, you need to just do A, B, and C to win. No, sometimes you're going to be derailed by a bunch of obstacles, and you have to figure out on the fly in 1 to 2 seconds what you have to do to win in that situation, or you will lose.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. No, for sure, for sure.
Yeah, man. So, let me pull out some stuff that from Liquipedia. Let's open up some stats here. So it says here recently in May 2023 in CECC, you were in third to fourth place. Can you explain what was going on?
Yeah.
Third to fourth,
Yeah.
yeah.
So CECC 2023 was a good event. It's basically it's a premier or a very, you know, prestigious collegiate event
Mhm.
for not only Rocket League but other game titles as well in the collegiate space, free sports. It was the culmination of four different regions. You know, they split it up into, I believe, South, West, Midwest, and North or something else. So it basically split up North America for the most part, and there was also a last chance qualifier, and you know, a culmination of those and a bunch of different conferences. The best came together, top 16 in North America, basically through that circuit, qualified, and we made it through last chance qualifier. We were I would say place off or one or two places off in our region, but we had a stacked region. So again, we made it through LCQ, which was super hype. We had a lot of ups and downs throughout the season, so that was like one of the last events of the year. It was the last event of the year for us that land. So it was kind of big for us because we were sending off our professional player, Seabass, long veteran in the game. Many people know him if they've watched Rocky League competitively for a while. So that was huge for him. And then it was also huge, like I said, for us as a team because it was our last time going to be playing together. So we came into it just, you know, trying to have the best time and obviously best results. So we started off group play. There's double elimination. Top two out of our group makes it through. So we beat Weber State pretty convincingly. No big deal there. And then we played against Columbia College, the best team in the West for the past season. And a lot of people didn't expect us to win, but we took it to game five and we upset them and we got the first seed out of our groups. That was a huge turning point, especially it was nice revenge too because they beat us in the fall, a national championship, sending us down to lowers. So it was a nice revenge and a good way to enter. And we earned ourselves a spot on the main stage to play against the hometown heroes, UT Arlington, because it was at Esports Stadium. So that's Texas. That's also Arlington. So a lot of people rooting for their home college. And even then, top eight on the line or technically top four, we're already guaranteed top eight, and we would go on main stage, and the vibes on main stage are unreal, man. I can't really relay the information enough or give you guys the perfect idea, but I mean, you've got all the bright lights on you. You've got everyone in the building, their eyes are set on you. And it's just a different kind of energy in the room and a different energy that's emitted through you and your team and the comms and through your actions because I think some people it might get to them, it might crumble, but for us is what we live for, and it's the perfect environment for us. So we thrived under it, and we just as soon as we played, we were locked in, and it went our way. We had some technical difficulties in the first game, but we ended up pulling through the series 3-1. And like I said, that was probably the highlight for me is just playing on main stage and interviewed on main stage and just what I live for. I love playing in front of people. And then we played top four and we played against the eventual champions. And at the time, the reigning world champions, Northwood University. And, they did well against us on stage station. It was tough because it was such a grueling day, man. It was nonstop action, just constantly grinding through the gauntlet of a massive bracket. And, going from such hype and crazy vibes on main stage to go to a side station right after, it kind of like is an adrenaline dump and there's a lot less energy and it's hard to maintain focus and consistency. So that's kind of what happened, and the odds were just stacked against us. I think it may have gone different if they allowed us to get an extra day of rest, play semifinals on the next day, right before finals, like they did with other games, and then potentially main stage as well. But no, it was an unreal experience. Third, fourth was a great way to finish the season. Absolutely unreal team, unreal season. I can't lie, like that was probably the best season for sure. I really want to replicate it and do better, but it's gonna be hard, man. It's gonna be hard because collegiate esports is growing. Collegiate esports is growing. It is the next thing. I believe. Professional esports is here to stay, but I think collegiate esports is going to be such a big thing because you're able to create such a legacy with each school or university, and I think a lot of them are starting to recognize that. And you see a lot more universities giving full ride scholarships, including mine. Mine's not necessarily a university. I go to Indian River State College, but they were one of the first to offer full ride, especially for Rocket League. And it went from 3 schools last year to about like 10 to 12 this year alone just for Rocket League. So it's growing, man. It's growing, and I love to see it. I love to see more opportunities for kids to not only compete at a high level, but to get a degree in college. So it's a great time.
That's good to hear, man. That's really good to hear because I come from an Overwatch background and I've been hearing that the esports within Overwatch is dying. So from what you were saying, I'm actually glad that I'm hearing good things about esports going up and giving kids these opportunities to progress within the video game industry for college scholarships, sponsorships, whatever it may be. That's good to hear because I've been hearing the opposite. And also I've been out of the game for a while because I've been doing other things. But from what you were saying, I'm glad that there's really good hope for this industry, because video games just tackling it in, it's hard, it can be rough, it can be a very non-rewarding journey to invest in yourself because your journey that you're telling me from this recent previous CECC, there was ups and downs. You had your good revenge match, you had a good comeback. You were overwhelmed from the main stage and the lights and just the energy people watching you because there's a difference between performing in public and just performing in private, whether you're just on your computer by yourself in a private room in the dark, what may be, versus being in the limelight, as you said, millions watching you, and you have to perform because if you do not perform and you don't win, then everything's going to go bad, it's going to be terrible, and you're going to feel like crap.
Yeah. No, yeah, it is. You hit it right on the nail for sure. And